So you want to know, what is a discovery call? Well, I'm going to answer that question and much more in this video. I'm going to take you through a step-by-step guide specifically designed for speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, and other experts who sell. So in this video, I'm going to answer a whole lot of questions. Obviously, I'm going to start with what is a discovery call. Then I'm going to get into how to run an effective discovery call. Then I'm going to get into how to ask for the sale at the end of the call without being pushy. And finally, I'm going to get into how to collect payment. Let's go. Let's talk first about what is a discovery call. A discovery call is usually some sort of free call that coaches, consultants, and other experts give to clients to give them the sense of whether they want to work together or not. It's often a sales call or the precedence or the preceder to the sales call. In my world, I do both discovery calls and strategy sessions, though some people do, they're both one. In my world, a discovery call is a shorter version of a longer strategy session. But ultimately, the objective is the same. If someone's a right fit, we want to enroll them into our program. So I'm going to now walk you through step by step how to run an effective discovery call. To illustrate some of what I've shared here and to show you how powerful this can be, I want to tell you a quick story from my own experience. When I started selling retreats in my current business model 7.5 years ago, I thought I was really good at sales. I thought I was an expert. And I'd even taught workshops on sales. I'd done art sales, I'd done real estate sales, magazine advertising sales, all sorts of sales. I'd raised money for charities. So I thought I was pretty good at it. And when I learned this structure from my mentor, Jake, and then ultimately I adapted it and changed it, made it my own, it was a game changer. Not only did I get better results, and that was huge, right? To be able to close more deals and convert more prospects. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. But also, it was so much more enjoyable. I actually love doing these calls. I was somebody before that kind of resisted sales. Like I would do it and I was decent at it, but I avoided it. I procrastinated it because I didn't have a clear process. And it was like, I was always winging it. And it always felt like I was flying by the seat of my pants. But when I learned this process, it just felt so good to know we're in this step, we're in this step. And to play inside of the steps, to have flow for whatever's happening. I never read from a script, but I had my structure, I had my outline, and I knew, all right, once we've gotten through this step, then we're moving here. And if this doesn't work out, we have to go back up here. And so it was a game changer, mostly because of how I felt about it. And I'm sure that the way that I felt about it also helped me to convert more deals, not just the structure itself, but the feeling that it gave me to have the confidence and the knowing that I was serving people through the sales process. That's another big piece of this process, is that it helps you serve people inside of sales so that your sales conversation becomes part of your value proposition. Whether people buy or don't buy, you know that when you offer a strategy session or a discovery call, that people are going to get some value out of it. So this is the very, very quick version. If you want the structure of a full-on strategy session, then I highly recommend checking out my video, How to Sell a Coaching Program Part 1, and that's 9 pillars for effective sales as service. And right now I'm going to give you a quick overview. Once you have a discovery call scheduled and you've booked it and you get on the phone with the client, before you even get on the phone, what I would recommend is getting into a good service-driven state. That means checking in with yourself, taking a few deep breaths, and remembering and reminding yourself, I am in service to this person. I'm here to lead this person and guide them to the next best decision. The second thing to do is, once you get on the phone, do a little chit chat, build a little rapport, and then pretty quickly move into what I call the pre-frame. And the reason I recommend doing that is because that establishes you as the leader of the call. Another great thing that I like to do is let people know that at the end of the call, you guys will decide together if you want to work together or not work together. You'll make a decision, and either way is fine. There's no pressure. Once you've established those rules of the game from the pre-frame, now you want to dive into the meat of the discovery call. This is where you actually do discovery. It's where you ask questions, where you take notes, and where you identify what does this person want and what's in the way. Once you have a pretty good sense of what they want and what's in the way, the vision and the pain, that's a pretty good time to move into, all right, Here's what I think. Here's what I see. Here's some insight. Here's some perspective. Now, a discovery call is generally pretty short. I'll talk about that in a second. But so you don't want to spend a lot of time here trying to coach the client. In fact, coaching at this juncture generally doesn't work. What I would recommend instead is just let the person know, hey, I think I've got the perfect solution for you. Is this something you're ready to move forward with now? Or is this not the right time? Like, what's your timeline look like? Is this urgent? And how committed are you right now? And then just get a sense. If this is the right time, then you'll move on to the next step. And if not, you'll say, hey, great, why don't we talk when it is a right time? So from there, you'll move into, if this is a good sales opportunity, if you're feeling it, you can move into the offer, move into the invitation, and then take payment. Or you might want to set them up with some sort of longer call. Now, if they're hot, if they're ready, if they're committed, and you just need a little more time, I would recommend doing it right then and there and not scheduling a second call. But if it's a short 15 or 20 minute discovery call, then you might want to move them into a longer proper strategy session. Or if you have plenty of time and they have plenty of time, you might want to just move through the rest of these steps really quick. Making that offer, sharing with them what the options are, and then going ahead and gaining commitment and taking payment. Now, sometimes right before you gain commitment and take payment, you might run into some objections. Well, I have a lot of information about handling those objections in my other video, which I want you to check out, which is how to sell a coaching program part 2. And that's where I walk you through the 10 steps in depth. And so if you want to go even deeper and learn about handling those objections, I would recommend checking out that video once you're done with this one. Another question I get a lot is how to have clients pay after a discovery call. Well, the thing is that if you've done a really good job on the discovery call and if you've gone through these steps, chances are it won't be very difficult. A lot of times coaches, consultants, experts, they shy away from making the sale right then and there. And they do that because they don't want to be pushy, but it's a big mistake. Why? It's a mistake because generally people are never as committed and engaged as they are as when you've just walked them through the strategy session structure or the discovery call structure. Once they've done that, they're generally at their peak of commitment, and that is absolutely the best time to gain that commitment and take a payment. So my advice is to, at the very least, take a deposit, but never ever, if someone's hot and ready, never ever say, okay, I'll send you a link or I'll send you a proposal. That's even worse. I'll send you a recap and a proposal. If somebody asks you, hey, can you send me a recap so I can think about this? I would go ahead and ask them, tell me what you're concerned about. Tell me what I can support you with, because we're here now and no brochure is going to answer your question better than I can. Ultimately, if you do a good job on walking people through this structure, asking for the sale won't feel pushy and won't be difficult. Because remember, at the beginning of the call, if you did it right with the pre-frame, you've set up that at the end of the call, there will be a decision. And so what I usually do to transition from that, once I've gone through the questions and the discovery piece, I let people know, listen, I'm feeling this. I think that I can really support you. This feels like a good fit. I know that I can help you with this. This is my area of expertise. Are you feeling it too? Would you like to know what it would look like to work together? And if people say no to that, which is rare, then that's it. Like, you can give them a book, you can give them a video, you can give them a resource. But generally, if you have that kind of connection and you're really feeling it, then they're gonna say yes, and then that's where you move on to the next step. So I'm a big believer in you'll never seem pushy if you go through these steps naturally. So if you are a coach, consultant, speaker, author, expert who wants to sell in this way and wants to build and grow your business, I can help. Go ahead and book a discovery call with me and you can discover what it's like. You can do that at superstaractivator.com/go or just click on the link below in the YouTube notes. I hope to see you soon.